All right, so excuse me, haven't really talked much today. Sorry about that. Professional would warm up her voice beforehand. Some of us are not, obviously not professionals. Anyway, welcome to Virtual Collage Jam for Monday, May 4th. And our our theme today, or our optional prompt, is 6 because it is the 6th anniversary of Virtual Collage Jam, which is kind of exciting in a sort of a low key, no big deal way. But here in my little studio and in our little collage enclave world, it's still not a big deal. But it is, right? Um, so I, of course, you don't have to work with as usual, you don't have to work with the prompt if it doesn't work for you. I've got a few ideas for what I'm going to do with the theme, and so you could do 6 of something. You could use the numeral 6. You could play with anniversary or birthday. Like if you have a special someone that's anniversary is coming up, why not use our anniversary to make them some kind of a card or something that is anniversary based? That'd be kind of fun. And just gonna have a little coffee. What else? Before I switch to my overhead camera and get this party started for making, a few things I'm going to mention, which, sorry so much, not English, I speak much good. I'm sorry about the last collage jam 2 weeks ago for Earth Day. I hope you managed to do an Earth Day collage anyway. I got a bug after Artist Project. I got it at Artist Project, I think, because I was talking with another exhibitor and she was like, "Oh my God, this bug." And I'm like, "And you're not wearing a mask and you're telling me this to my face?" Anyway, it's really hard to go to one of those big public events and not catch something unless your immune system is robust. And mine wasn't because I'd been pushing to get work done for the show. So it is what it is. But it was a long-lasting bug. I kind of feel like I entirely lost. I lost April. Not entirely. I got some things done, but yeah, it was only the last few days. Like last week was when I started to feel like myself again, and so yeah, so it's good to be myself again. I'm getting my gradually building back my energy and strength, which is awesome. And what else? Not sure that there is anything else to relay. Oh, there is actually. What am I talking about? So tomorrow at Union, if you're watching this live, obviously, if you're catching it after the fact, this is a moot point. But tomorrow, the May 5th, is my next 2-hour collage workshop at Union Hotel, not just a stone's throw from Union Station, hence the name. And it will be from 6 to 8. I haven't heard that it is sold out, so if you want to grab a ticket, go to Union Hotel. Union Hotel's website. They have an Eventbrite set up for it. I forget exactly how much it is. I think it's 50 something. And it's a great space. Like their lobby is beautiful, warm, friendly. The cafe there is great. The food in the cafe is great. The coffee in the cafe is great. And they have art books around. Like if you come early and just hang out in the lobby and grab a coffee or a snack or whatever, they have art books like sitting around that you could peruse, and they're not just like your grandmother's art books. They're like contemporary work, which is really kind of cool and exciting. I think the last time I was there, I saw like 4 or 5, 6 different books sitting around, which was awesome. Annie, how are you? Nice to have you along. Yeah. Yes, I am recharged. Thank you. Yes, it is beautiful out there. I should get out briefly afterwards. Might have to part way. Might have to leave part way, of course. Well, the weather, excuse me, the weather beckons, right? Which is awesome. Yeah. Um, Anyone who chooses to spend their time indoors with me collaging when the weather's nice, it's even if it's only partial, I'm honored. So, yeah. How have you been doing, Annie? Have you been collaging up a storm? Or have you been working? You were working on another one of your 100-day or month-long challenges, right? So how's that going? Is it finished? Is it mid stride? Um, yes, right. Oh, that yeah. If it's going to rain tomorrow, that always. I was going to say precipitates, no pun intended, but it always precipitates the petals falling, right? Because they're so. It's such a fleeting season. Like wow, yeah. I love May for all the colors, like all the blossoming trees, and magnolias are usually one of the lead bombers, right? They're out early. Um, but May is so beautiful with all the fresh spring green, all the blossoming trees, flowers coming up. The weather isn't stinking hot yet. So, yeah, I mean, what's not to love, right? Um, just sketching a lot here and there. Uh, too much going on. I hear you. Yep, yep. I I am in the same boat. I because I was sick. I have so much stuff that I'm trying to get caught up on. Um, I'm juggling several projects, all pressing, and so my desk is like um, I just like dig down and oh yeah, this is where I put that project. I have to work on that for a couple of hours. Then I have to work on this project. Where is it? Scrabble, scrabble. So yeah, so I definitely understand. Um, so so I'm going to switch to the overhead camera and let's, for those of you so inclined, we'll play with the theme of 6. And Andy, let us know in the comments if you are planning on doing that, working with that theme or something else. It's more about spending the time together creatively than following the theme, unless the theme works for you. So, all right. Gonna go black for a minute or two while I get the camera set up in the overhead, and I'll see you in a minute. It will only be another few seconds, hopefully. Get the cable out of the way. And figure out my that's what we need. A little bit of focus. Before I dive into my into what I'll be collaging, I just have one thing to share, which is kind of fun. I made these paint tube collages, at least 2 of them, a while ago, and I had this one underway, and I finished it because I'm going to be teaching a course for Nielsen Park Creative Center. Sorry, teaching a course for Nielsen in the fall called Collage Vignettes. So it's the idea of like this little bite-size focuses on fun things and something small contained, but but interesting or precious, or and so I thought, well, I'll use these paint tubes and create a context for them. I finished this one finally, and then just sort of did this this graphic context with just a few sort of flat colors, an indication of shadow, and so yeah, so that I thought that was kind of fun. Thank you. Yeah, I like that. All right, so what will I be doing? Okay, so what I did was um, I thought I would make a composition of 6 hexagons, each with the number 6 in them, different sizes, and maybe put 6 little things in either the corners or on the sides of each one, a little different each time, and exactly what. That's about as far as I've got. So whether these are going to be cut out of photographs, out of flat colors, a bit of both probably, but I haven't got that far. This is as far as I got. I sort of set up the number 6 in a font that I like, and drew a hexagon, and then I print them out. Unfortunately, one side seems to be missing, but I printed extra so that I could have more if I need them. So, all right, so I'm just going to start with that and see where that takes me. I don't think I have a picture of bees honeycombs, but that would be a great choice for one of them. And actually, just having that thought makes me think, maybe what I'll do is play with what if there are, oh dear. So a few things aren't good for your voice. Not getting enough sleep, which was last night, eating spicy food and eating peanut butter, both of which I had at at lunch. So bear with my rather sad voice. Maybe I'll play with the idea of like yellow, a whole bunch of different yellows and yellow oranges, and just make it about sort of referencing sort of subtly honey and bees, and my last name is Honey, so I mean this kind of stuff. I mean it'd be foolish to go against it, right? So so I'm just going to grab some various yellows that might be interesting. Yellows, yellow golds. Oh my God, that's so amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I've got lots of nice options. It's kind of got the city in it. That's too bad. Well, I could put it in one of the smaller ones. That's also kind of fun. Oh, there's just so much fun stuff. I do adore having my drawers based on color, because, and I just put all my stuff in there, and it just always yields interesting surprises, fun stuff. So what's not to love, right? And because I have so many fashion magazines, I've got all these amazing yellow pieces of clothing or outfits, so that's pretty great. Some gel plate prints, which are in the right bailiwick. Sort of interior design thing with a bunch of yellows. So, wow, that's a nice sort of muted yellow. All right, I'm going to start cutting some hexagons, and we'll see where we go from there. I guess what I should do is roughly cut them out so that I can position them over top and see about approximately where they're going. I'm just going to use these prints that I just made, what are called key lines. That's a graphic design term, but for a fine line. And what I did was I made just the edge of the number and the edge of the hexagon key lines so that I can follow I'm going to just tape this over top of whatever I'm cutting it. Cutting hexagons or sixes out of. And then we'll see how that goes. So I don't need to cut all those corners off, but apparently I did it anyway. And I made two different groups, so they're slightly different sizes. Is this the same? This one might, oh, it's a bit bigger. Oh, yeah, a bit bigger. So I'll cut one out of each, and that will give me options. And I'll probably what I'll probably do is make more than 6 of the hexagons with whatever juxtapositions, at least to a certain point, and then I'll choose the ones I like from that. But first thing I'm going to do, I'll set my spares aside for now, is sort of place them sort of half off screen, I know, but I'm just going to place them in sort of descending order of size, because that way, I mean, these two guys are very similar sizes. They might even be the same size. I might have forgot to vary it, but it just helps me look, oh, I want something medium or I want something smaller. So put the smaller ones. I didn't make anything super small because I don't want to, I know the dangers for me of trying to make things that are too small with too much detail. So I tried to, knowing my nature, to play against that a little bit. So I think these are the smallest ones I did, and they're not tiny. Oh, awesome. That's a great idea, Annie. So Annie moved outside so she could sketch outside, enjoy the magnolia, enjoy the company of her pup, and we'll sketch on the basis of 6. You could do 6 magnolias, 6 dog poses, so many options. I'm just going to check if I can find my ruler, which is always a challenge on my desk. Let's see how. So this hexagon is 4 1/8 of a bit. So did that edge just get missed? And it could. Okay, so it could be just slightly. Yeah, okay. Not something you guys need to know. I was just checking to see what was up there. That's slightly too big for this. I want it all to land in the dress, so. Oh, I was tempted to just freehand it. Should I do that? Okay, let's do that. I get so carried away with precision that maybe just not using the ruler will be less fussy. Oh, I know it'll be less fussy. I probably should have put 2 or 3 different layers underneath this so I could cut several hexagons. All right, I'll do that for the next one. Cut once, get a few hexagons rather than just one. And but for a start, there we go. That's kind of fun. And all right, so might as well learn my lesson. So ooh, this one could go right to that little tip right there. That'd be kind of fun. That's sort of silly and fun. Trying to get it more or less to the corner of the perfume bottle. All right, now let's add a couple more things under there so I have other options, like this paper. And maybe one more. Maybe this diagonal paper. All right, so that's three layers, including one that is thick. So that will be plenty to cut through, including the paper of the stencil. So fortunately, it's not a complex shape, a hexagon. If I were cutting the 6, I would probably do fewer layers because it's or at least not the thick paper, because the fussier the cutting out, the harder it is to cut through several layers. So, or multiple layers, additional layers, more than one layer. It didn't quite get all the way through the back layer, almost, but not quite. All right, so now we have 3 from that one. That's good. Group it with that. What I should do is look for a darker yellow, or yellow related. Because I have a yellow drawer and an orange drawer, I have to make a call between when I'm putting them away, like, oh, is that more towards the yellow or more towards the orange? But sometimes an orange will look, just depends, right? Where it looks best. So. Which makes the most sense, but they'll look good together. Like this has some yellowy bits in the orange, but tips more towards orange. But in this context that I'm creating, I think it'll be fine that it is all right. I don't think I ended up getting anything dark, like burnt orange. Brown actually would be a good choice. There's a painted piece of paper that's pretty hefty, but it's a good, nice color. Yep. How soon they forget, right? I forgot what I was in there for, at least in part. So. Is that a different brown or the same, do you think? Same, it looks like. Okay, so, all right, that gets me a bit more options, a few more options, a bit more choice. So if there was more of that, that'd be awesome. Like that sort of, it's got a nice rich color, but brick. Possibly. All right, so let's see. I'm going to use fire and a flat brown and Ooh, this has kind of dark-like area to it, which is kind of nice if I use a smaller one. Yeah, that would fit, and it'd be mostly on the dark. So this is the same size I used before. All right, this one's not far off, so we use this. I could reuse it, but it's easier if it's a fresh cut, just because I don't have to cut through the tape as well. So, all right, and then where do we want it? Well, maybe I was thinking over there. Now that it's wider over there, isn't it? So maybe that's where it should go. I have a little bit of that black showing in a couple of spots, but all right, and actually maybe I'll do the same thing, have some black in the center of this one. Maybe over there, that's not enough black. What if I go here? Sort of here makes good sense. Maybe. We'll see. And the dark brown, that can just be anywhere as long as it fits on the sheet. Annie, when is your anniversary? Since our theme is anniversary, Kim and I is on Groundhog Day, which is pretty funny. It's like we wake up every year and it's like, oh, you again. But and my parents, I think they kind of realized, oh, it's going to be close to this day, so let's make it that day. Theirs was on Valentine's Day, which is, you know, how good is that? It doesn't get better than that, right? But every season, every time of year has its gifts, right? It'd somehow be fitting if your anniversary was around now for your magnolia tree. Oh, done it again. I've lost my ruler. All right, but I'm not using a ruler, so I'll remind myself of that. And my hexagons will be a little wonky, and that's good. Okay. So a dark one, a partially fiery one, and a brown one. So some dark ones in that size. And maybe I'll choose some textury ones, like from gel plate prints and so on. That'll be kind of fun to have in the mix. this gel plate's so beautiful. Print on deli paper. Deli paper. That's not going to be big enough. Okay. But this one will be. Kind of a ho-hum gel plate print, but what about that? This one, oh, maybe it's not big enough. Well, let's see. Let's see if it will fit somehow. I don't think I can make it work. That's too bad. I'll need one slightly smaller for that. Oh, let's try this size so that this will work. That works fine. And let's see, how much of that blue do I want? There's a little errant blue in this one, which is kind of fun. I just don't want a ton of it. Maybe a little bit. So maybe there. And then this one, is there any area that's interesting more so than the other ones? Not really, so I'm just going to pick this top corner. Okay. That one I need to tape on the back. January 20th, 36 years. Yeah, it's amazing how fast it goes, right? Had a blizzard in the late evening, so it went from no snow to 2 feet of snow. Took us till 4 in the morning to get to the hotel. Oh my God. I mean, winter in Canada, right? So, but in fact, you're not far off from us. We're January 20th, February 2nd, right? So was there significance to that date, or did it just happen to work? With Kim and I, we sort of figured out when we were going to make our anniversary in reverse, because when we first got together, we were unsure whether it would last. So we just said, well, we'll just see how it goes, right? But then as we realized, oh, it's going well, right? We thought, okay, so when did we meet? Well, we met before that, but when did we decide that it was more than just friends? And that was a particular date. We called it Fateful Friday, when we realized that, like, oh, this is turning towards, I think I said, I'm afraid I had feelings for you because she was married, and that was a problem. But it was mutual as well. So we called it Fateful Friday, and that was the day that things shifted. So it made sense. Like, okay, we figured out what day of the month that was, and like, okay, that's our anniversary. So when we did get married, we made sure we got married on, and it was actually the 10th anniversary of that day. So, so we've been together 10 years longer than we've been married. So, but was the 20th of particular significance, or just when you planned it and that's the way it worked? I just wanted it to be snowy. That's so cute. And be careful what you wish for. Oh, that's funny. For us, I don't actually remember. There must have been snow, but I don't remember anything bad. No terrible snowstorms. On the fateful Friday that like I think there was a fair bit of like frozen ice downtown because we were both working downtown at that point. And you know, when it's been slushy and you get all the footprints and then it freezes, so the ice is in all these like wavy shapes. It was like that. The day we got married, I don't think there was um, any particular weather per se. It was on a Tuesday in February, and we wanted to get married on the Tuesday, or on the second. So we decided, okay, it's going to have to be a Tuesday. So yeah, so it was just like a quick civil service, and then we went out to a Chinese buffet, which was awesome, and a whole bunch of Kim's family and some of my family made it regardless, which was amazing. I think it's unless someone's watching without commenting, I think it's just you and me, Annie, because I have been bad about promoting stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit of struggle to get the things I need to get done, and so my promotion schedule has fallen by the wayside. So it's just amazing anyone came. So thank you for coming. It's nice to have someone here. But don't take that as pressure. Like, you don't have to stay. Like, people do watch on the replay, so I will just chat to them as well as to you for as long as you have time and interest, and from there we'll just see how it goes. So all right, I'm going to match these up approximately. Is that the right size? Okay, so, and then I'm going to cut the 6s out of things that sort of make sense for going on these. So something dark, white or very light would be good. Middle tone, not a good idea. So all right, what if one goes out of this dark area of this piece? That's kind of fun. And I also have a really light Yemen. Oh man, light lemon yellow piece I can see a little peak of there. So I'll maybe get that as well, because it's not white, but it's close. It's still quite bright. So, and it wouldn't go for either of these two, but it might go for that one. Okay. Do I have something even paler? I think I do. In the yellow drawer. Or maybe fluorescent. That's crazy. All right, so there's this yellow piece. I could use this, but is it brighter than that? No, it's actually darker. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll just go with that then. This one has more interest too because it's got the textures. So get some of that without going nuts. Go. And another dark maybe. Oh, like the dark shadows under on her neck. She's got some gold paint on her body and up her neck. Wow, and also down the center of her face. That's so. It's like playing with the idea of golden hour or sunshine or a highlight, but making it actually out of gold. That's so interesting and beautiful and surprising. But what if we take the 6 out of her sort of neck area with a little bit of that gold showing? God, did I call it silver? I probably did. I cannot walk and chew gum. All right, 6 we go here. Ooh, that's fun. I'm going to include that somehow. Yeah, these layered up papers are making me work for it. I wouldn't want to have to cut through more than this, especially for like cutting curves like on numbers. It's tricky because it's so important that they, at least to me, because typography is important to me. I do try to be accurate to the beauty of the curves and shapes. And maybe I should try an exercise sometime where I just type roughly just to see if I can do it. It would take some doing for me. But it would be a good exercise, right, to sort of relinquish control, and it might actually yield more interesting results, right? I'm always telling my classes that, don't worry too much about cutting it accurately, and that's because I know what it's like to torture yourself about cutting it accurately. So maybe I need to listen to my own advice. Yeah, still the straight part. I was wondering, I was wondering why my 6s weren't falling out. Hadn't cut the end yet. All right, 3 6s. Well, 4 if I include the white one, but I'm not going to include the white one, at least for now. Those are kind of fun. It'd be fun to sort of put big ones. Oh, now I'm letting the cat among the pigeons if I start changing which size can go in which hexagon, but that sounds like it might be fun, so I'll cut some more 6s and see how that goes. Put a really really small 6 in a big hexagon and vice versa. Yep. Because then you get surprises, and surprises are more interesting than predictability. So there you go. And he says timing timing worked out. Now that she's outdoors, she keeps watching. Went twice to get scissors and glue. Well, I'm glad it had that effect on you, Annie. Hope it's not too windy out there. That's your next comment, right? Quite windy out. My cut magnolias are flying away, right? So it's like there's a reason there aren't too many plein air collagers, because you have to like glue as you go, or risk losing it all, right? Or maybe have clips that. But yeah, that's a tricky thing. So, but I applaud you for braving it, Annie. That's awesome. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. What if I cut a couple of different sides? That's one that's already cut, Cat. Figure it out. Get with the program, Cat. I could try one that's darker and one that's maybe from the lighter area. Well, I guess in this one, there's not really much. There is a dark area, but there's not much of a light area with that black paint. Oh well, we'll give it a whirl anyway. Tape is what I need. All right, so hexagons. So those are bright yellow with black, which is something I haven't really got too much of. I guess this is sort of the closest thing. I kind of feel like more darks are important, so I wonder if, yeah, I could definitely, this is not dark, but it's darker. It's actually darker up here. So that's kind of fun, including some of that. Let's put it that way so that the vase thing goes down the center. So one side will be light, but the other side will be dark. That's fun. My tape scraps, where are they? There we go. And this side, I'll need something else. Maybe another piece from this girl. What about her face? I was gonna try and get it from this dark side, or maybe the hair. The hair is awesome. It's not as dark as I was looking for, but it is another, it provides another opportunity. So let's go with that. Move it over into the hair like that. And it moved on me, of course it did. Okay, that's 2 layers for each. So maybe one more layer that goes for both of them. Let's see what else I've got in here. Actually, I had jewelry somewhere. Where was that? Not that it's a dark, it's a light, but it's a nice thing to have in the mix. So let's see if I can find it. I thought I got it out. Maybe I didn't. Ooh, that's crazy bright. Oh, what about like the center of the, how big is that? That might work. It's kind of fun to like put it in the center of a sunflower. That'd be awesome. I was up early today, not by choice, just couldn't sleep any longer, so I'm starting to hit the afternoon slump. Perfect. And I still have half a cup of coffee, and it's obviously not doing its job yet. So hopefully it will come a little more this way. Okay. Looks about right. And well, this is going to be high excuse me. This is going to be high contrast if I do it. Maybe I'll just go with, with this for now. Yeah, and maybe get some of that sort of red-orange as part of the mix. All right. Such a funny way to work, but whatever. after after I cut these out, I need to do more 6s. I've got lots of hexagons, or I will have after this, but only 3 6s. So do a bunch more 6s and then just play with which one goes where. Oh, some of these are ridiculous and fun. I love it. So, Annie, are you guys good about celebrating your anniversary? We, I have to say, we're a lot less good than we used to be. For the first many years, we did it. We would always do something and make it a special occasion. And I have to say, yeah, I think we need to put some effort in, because the last few times it's been, we both looked at each other and granted each other permission to not worry about it, which, you know, sometimes that's what's called for, absolutely. And we've had a lot going on the last few years, in terms of, like, him especially, a lot of things, but I also kind of feel like it's a cop-out to some extent, right? Like, obviously, if you're going through cancer treatments and so on, or your schedule is insane, I think it's good to give yourself grace to not worry about it. But yeah, I feel kind of like I've let her down a bit, especially because my health is not, my health is more robust than hers. So I think initiative for organizing and planning, which has never been my strong suit, but really falls to me for that. So, at the risk of sounding like the proverbial next year, I think that I need to do something, make it special again, right? So yeah, I think I'm up to that. Oh, there's little pieces of tape everywhere because I keep finding these many layers that I wanted to cut it out of. I'm going to have so many pieces of collage material with 6s and hexagons cut out of them. But that is kind of what they're there for, right? They're there to be used. So, I think I've mentioned this a few times already, but I'm a big believer in not hoarding the good materials, rather in rather that it's important for us to use them, because I don't know, there's like something that if the universe sends you really great collage materials and you use them, the universe says, "Oh, good, well done. You're actually using the gifts that have been bestowed upon you. Okay, we'll send you more." But if you sort of save them for a rainy day or hoard them and like, oh, that's waiting for the perfect project. I don't know. I kind of feel like it sends a signal to the universe that. Of sort of a scarcity mindset, like, oh, this is so precious, I'll never get it again. So I have to like wait for just the perfect time, and the perfect time never comes, right? So I'm curious, Annie, do you like, I think we all have certain things that we save, like, like when I was rifling through my materials, they're like in the yellow bin. I came across there was a Chanel ad series that was like on, like it would be a yellow outfit or predominantly yellow outfit, and then it'd be on a yellow background, and I think it was even shot with a yellow cast. And I really love those shots, so I want to use them for something special. And I thought, okay, not for this. And so I am guilty of it to some extent, but I really try not to be. But do you feel that way, or do you just launch in and use what you use? And it's fine if it depends, if you sometimes launch in on some things, but there are certain things that you want to like, ooh, but that's different, right? So, and I absolutely feel like that's different for a few shots. For me, it tends to be like not necessarily papers or patterns, but images, because I think, oh, that's a really great image to use as a sort of key image for like one of my day collages or something. So I do tend to hoard those a bit. Oh no. um, oh, that's awesome, Annie. So Annie goes out for fancy dinner every time. That's great. That's really great. Because that makes it special, right? And neither of you have to cook, and so you can just enjoy each other's company and enjoy some great food. So that's an awesome way to do it. Um, we used to bring Alex with us when she was young. It was a family anniversary, right? So it was only when I was older that I understood that my parents were also celebrating their anniversary because it was on Valentine's Day. My mom made Valentine's Day like a bigger deal than most people do. Um, the table would be set with white, there'd be red napkins. She'd find red and white everything. And we actually got, I think because mom and dad gave each other gifts because it was their anniversary, she included the children, my brother and I, in it. So we also got gifts on Valentine's Day, which is that's very, very not the case for most families. And that's also my mom, right? Like, oh well, got to include the kids too, right? So, and I'm sorry that the wind took some of your collage. That's terrible. Um, yes, save some special materials, but then I rush to grab materials and work on a piece, and the special ones are forgotten. Yeah. You should have a special collage material use day when you're granted special dispensation to use the good stuff. And just dig it out, get it all out, find it, and well, what you can, um, and then just go to town. All right, I'm gonna gather some, now I'm gonna do some sixes. I'm gonna want dark and light sixes. Nothing too thick, please, cat. And some of these are still taped together. Okay. All right, so sixes out of those things. Maybe out of the yellow and that sunflower. Let's see, maybe out of some of this photograph as well. Oh yeah, we gotta have some fire sticks and some bright yellow. I think maybe not. I think I want something with a little more interest. This photograph looks like it. Okay, so I am going to pick one that I'm going to position 2 6s on, and then I'll tuck stuff behind it. So maybe I'll start with this. This has all kinds of crazy stuff going on in it. So I make bigger 6s, so I'll make smaller ones, and that's more or less the same size. What about one of the really big 6s, like this size? Okay. It'd be kind of cool if it had those. I guess that's not so much on the warm colors that I'm looking for, but well, it's in the background. It'd be kind of cool to have this crazy under chair structure. Okay, that seems silly, and so then I'm going for it. All right. And then a smaller 6 somewhere else. If I can pick it up, maybe in this very orangey area with facets. That's kind of fun. Get as much of that detail as I can in the 6. All right. And I could just take this piece in and have both of them come out of it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. That's a 6, so it could go up there, and it could, not quite in the color. Now they both are. Okay. And take over here again, and what about this bricky stuff? What if, can I get one in the brick and one on the floor mat? Maybe? No, it's going to have his shoes in it if I'm not careful. I got that cut out there already to deal with. All right, not going to quite work like that. What about in that area? That's kind of a crazy area. Okay. The thing about, excuse me, the thing about doing this is you can think, oh, that's going to be a good area, but you never know until you actually see it showing through the 6. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work because I'm making all kinds of options and then I'll play with them, right? So if it really doesn't work, it's no big deal. If I have more hexagons and more 6s than I need, I can always mix and match and discard some or not use some of them. I always find, or I often find, let's say, that the ones I think are going to be problematic aren't, which is so cool. I worried about the wrong piece. Oh, I wanted this piece to be the one that's secured. Walking and chewing gum. What can I say? All right, it's this piece at the bottom that I want to make sure is in the right place. And I have to tape that edge for it to actually work. Okay, and that's also it there. So if I tape there, then that will hold it in place. All right, and a fire 6, maybe from this area that is most, well, this area is pretty good too. It's a pretty big 6 though, so okay, I think that's got it. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, I didn't even use this piece, but it means I can save it for the next one. All right. Push my hexagons and 6s up so I don't, get into the mix by accident. The 6 mix. I'm pushing pretty hard to go through the several layers, so it's kind of a matter of precision, but also pressure, which is, it's easier to be precise when you've got a light touch. Like if you're cutting one layer, it's easier that way. Well, sometimes. I guess if it's a layer that's prone to tearing, then sometimes you can end up tearing one layer, but generally speaking, if you're having to like really lean on the knife to get it through all the layers, then it's you have to watch that you suddenly don't have a lurch that goes way out of where you're going, where you're trying to go anyway. All the holes in the 6 are coming out, but that's fine. And just the straight cut. So a couple of things when I'm cutting something like this out is it's got a bunch of curves that sort of go more or less in the same direction. So I'll make all of those cuts and then rotate it and then make all the curves again until I go all the way around. And if there is a straight cut on a letter, some have lots, right? Some, but 6s, 9s, 5s have some straights, but the more curves, I'll usually get the curves out of the way first because the last cut is much easier to do if it's a simple one, right? The one that actually releases the cutouts. So, all right, so that's a whole bunch of bigger 6s. 4 to be accurate. Maybe not a whole bunch, but a few anyway. And now some smaller ones in, which will be a little finickier, but oh, I just heard my blade snap. The tip snapped off. Often when I'm cutting through layers like this with several layers, you'll hear a little click because you're pressing so hard, and just the very tip of the knife is the blade has broken off. So I will get a fresh blade out, and so that I keep getting the sharp cuts, clean edges. So you can tell, if especially if you've had it happen before, you sort of get used to like, oh, that little click, and now it's not cutting quite as nicely as it was just a second ago. That's because the tip is snapped off. All right. Well, I don't know, Annie, what it's like. I know it's windy down where you are, but I've got my windows closed and I can hear the wind out there. So so hopefully it's not as windy as it sounds like it is up here down there. All right, and just the straight cut left. And I can't believe it, it's almost 3:30. How does this happen? I need to obviously have a bigger plan and do more of my pre-cutting ahead of time, because I don't know, it just feels like I've been just like peaceably cutting out various numbers and hexagons, and then suddenly I'm almost out of time. So there's something great about the huge number in the small space like that. And let's see what it looks like if I do the opposite, have a small one in a big space. That's also kind of fun, isn't it? So, so I'm going to try just some pairings and see what comes of it. All right, I didn't seem to cut any at this size-ish, which would be nice. One of these two sizes in between. I've got very small, pretty big, and that size. So I'm thinking this size is good. So I'm going to cut a few more, and I'm going to run out of time, but hopefully not. Just get a few more 6s cut. Okay, instead of trying to deal with that, I'm just going to get new ones, new pages. That's too thick. Oh, and this could actually come out of the dense part of the jewelry, so it doesn't actually miss
have too much of the black. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, like right there would be nuts. Well, not nuts, but it'd be good. Nuts as in a good thing. All right, so that. I'm going to want something dark. Maybe out of her shadows. Theirs pretty shadowy, so just a few strands of hair coming through, so that's kind of fun. So it'll be a gently animated dark. And maybe something here. How can I get that lined up the way I want it? Maybe I don't need to worry about it. That's what I'm going to tell myself. I'm going to get it in the ballpark and not worry about it beyond that. Okay, it's in the ballpark. Okay, so I got light, dark, light, something darker. Darker would be good. Maybe dark with a bit of interest in it, like maybe, oh, we've got a few options. This sort of blurred part of the dark photograph, her top. Yeah, I think it's going to be out of her top. I think that's what I like. Only a tiny bit of that page showing through over here, but that's enough to keep it secured. Here we go. All right. All right. So this is hilarious. I'm looking, and you can't see anything because that light is on it. I'm looking at this mess of like hexagons and sixes that sort of overlapping and random and thinking that looks pretty cool. That happens to me so much. I do all this intentional stuff and I like the way something unintentional looks better. I often do take photographs at workshops and at my desk. Sometimes something falls in an interesting way and I see something beside something else or overlapping or seeing it through. And it's just like, I couldn't have come up with that if I tried, but it's so cool. So I take a photograph just to sort of record it. And maybe in the process of taking those photographs, I become aware of what, well, maybe this is wishful thinking, but sort of become aware of like why things that are unplanned sometimes look so good. And if I understand what is working about that, maybe I can use it sometimes intentionally or come up with processes that bring the unintentionality of it into my collage. And that is my little buzzer saying it's 3:30. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cutting this 6 out. And then I'm just going to spend a very few minutes trying some various 6s on, oh man, it's pulling the paper. And it's a fresh blade, so I don't know what's up. I'm going to arrange a few 6s on hexagon. Man, I can't speak. Hexagons, and just have a little array of those for us to enjoy before I leave. So it'll probably be another go over 5 or 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, a few minutes. But Annie, I know you're probably the only one there, so if you want to cut out, I understand. You've been a trooper out there in the elements collaging. Yep. I can't say as I've come across very many people doing collage en plein air at all, and there's a good reason for it. So you're a trailblazer. So am I going to put the hexagon on the face photo? I actually don't know. That's kind of a fun idea. I hadn't thought of where they were going to go. I was thinking that I would just do an arrangement of, I hadn't got that far ahead, but I like the idea of them like being peppered over top of some big image. So I might use that idea. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is grab a white sheet of paper just to have under these so I can see them, and just play for 2 or 3 minutes before I wrap up, and just see what things might look like on different grounds. Should a 6 be? I kind of feel like it should be, the point should be up for a hexagon with a 6 in it. I don't know why. Of course, it could go other ways, right? But and I'm thinking it'd be kind of fun to have like super subtle ones like that. You might not be able to even see the 6. Oh, you can because it's reflecting, but it's actually very much the same color value. Let's see. That's fun. This sort of really muted speckled hexagon. Why do I want to call it hexachrome? Hexachrome was a ill-fated color system, like printing color system, and that's what happens when you become a graphic designer with information in your head that is of no use, but it's still in there. All right, and there's also this one. I love this one, with a bit of the center of the sunflower, and maybe a kind of a sunflowery. Actually, that's fun. I think this is from the sunflower's petals, so that's kind of doing something you wouldn't expect with. They're both from the same image, actually, but in a different arrangement. So I'm not arranging these per se. I'm just trying. What I'm concerning myself with, I'm making myself like a sampler of different options, and just sort of playing with, and not thinking beyond like, okay, given this hexagon, what would this 6 look like on it, right? So that's the only thing I'm thinking of right now. That's funny, that one doesn't really work. Maybe it needs to be a, ooh, that's kind of unexpected but fun. Here's a really dark one. And maybe it should have one of those little bright 6s. Maybe like this one. That's kind of nice. And oh, yeah, that's good. Not big enough. I don't, well, could be. I think I'll use a couple of my white 6s just for trying things, because I don't know. I wasn't thinking I would use them, but I might change my mind because I'm allowed to. I'm an artist. I can change my mind whenever I like. Oh, this is so interesting. I wonder which. Let me try this one. Ooh, that's even more hidden. It's kind of fun hiding some of them and popping some of them out. I bet that would look, might not look right, but it will work. What about this Julie one? Yeah, that's kind of, it's not as good as I was hoping. Probably need something darker. Let's try it over here. Yeah, that's kind of working a little better. This one's going to hide on that. Not going to hide on that. That hides on that, but that's kind of fun. You know, I don't have enough hexagons for all my 6s, but that's fine. Could have 666. All right. Anyway, so let's try and get the light so it actually shows what we're looking at. Maybe if I turn this one on. All right. So I'm not sure how to get the lighting so that they all are visible, and they're going to move on me, but it's kind of fun to play with these different, some of them have already shifted, but just playing this game of like oranges and yellows, muted and bright, high contrast, low contrast, and varied sizes. And other than that, the 6 is always a 6, the hexagon's always a hexagon. And so what might be fun is to just glue these down, like get them centered, so because you know I'm a designer, they have to be centered at least visually. And then what I might do is overlap them a little bit to create an interesting composition where they're, I mean, hexagons, you kind of, in some one way, you want them to all sort of line up but not overlap. But I think overlapping would be kind of fun. So, so I think that's as far as I'm going to go. So I'll switch over to here and sign off.
Oh, thank you. I just see you want to see my ideas, so you're here. Thank you, Annie. That's very sweet. When I had to piece my quilt together with hexagons, I needed some diamond shapes too. Oh, right. Yeah, it depends on the size. If you're going to use, we're using a couple of different sizes of hexagons. Like if you're using all the same, I think they will work like honeycomb. But yeah, with diamonds in there, it would actually be pretty nice, like the contrast. So that's a great idea. This is actually kind of like quilting, except I made them different sizes, so it's not going to work as a quilt. Um, so yeah, thank you, Annie. Thanks for staying with me, and I appreciate it having someone live to talk to, despite my poor marketing. So yes, and Kim said, "Say hi to anyone I know," and she knows you. So um, consider that Kim says hi, and I'll pass it along to her. Um, and enjoy your magnolia, and I'll see you and hopefully a few other people in a couple of weeks. And I'll just check what it's when our next one is. There are a few mess ups because of Victoria Day. So our next one is on June 1st. That is crazy. So June 1st, and the topic is spirals. So it's almost a month till the next one because of scheduling. So anyway, I will see you in a month. Take care. Bye. See you next time, Annie. Likewise. Hugs. I just can't find my